down your side-by-side properly to a trailer just guarantees everyone's safety, and it also protects your investment, so it's safe to say it's pretty important. Now, I have found that if you ask 3 different people the best way to tie down a machine, you're going to get 3 different answers. And that doesn't mean that one of those ways is bad. There are multiple safe ways to tie down your machine. So in this video, I want to go over just some of the absolute basics on how to tie down, but then maybe more importantly, I want you guys to weigh in and let me know how you tie your machines down. Rule number 1 is simple, and you can't argue with this one. You got to get good straps. Now, I like to use these heavy-duty ratchet straps, but whatever you use, you just have to make sure that the weight that it's rated for is enough to carry your cargo. So these straps have a working load limit of 3,300 pounds, and the working load limit is generally 1/3 of the brake strength, which just basically means that it'll take 10,000 pounds to actually snap this strap. And in this case, I got the mule on there. It's about 1,500 pounds, maybe a little more with a full tank of gas. So I know we're gonna have no issue. Now, you could probably get away with just using 2 of these straps. The numbers do add up, but I'm gonna use 4. I always like to use more. You know, more is always better. You can't really overstrap something. The other key rule to remember with your straps when you're putting them on is that you want equal and opposite pressure. So if you have a strap on the front driver's side corner, you better have one on the rear passenger side corner. If you have 2 on the front, you have to have 2 on the back. You always want the load to be pulling out like this with even pressure on each corner. And because all side-by-sides have 4 corners, I like to use 4 straps. So the next issue, and this one might be the most contentious, is where to actually attach your straps to your machine. Now, there's sort of a few different ideas here, but the one thing that remains the same is that the attachment point has to be somewhere strong. Now, best case scenario, you go directly onto a piece of the frame. Next best case, something like this bumper, which is strongly attached. I know it's bolted right onto that frame. You never want to tie down to any of your suspension components. That A-arm in there can look inviting for tying down, but never attach anything to it. You don't want to bend the A-arm, and it's just not the strongest point to tie down to. So the big divergence that happens with tying down machines is whether you compress the suspension or you don't compress the suspension. You can use straps just right onto your tires. It can be a little bit tricky. You want to make sort of a cross X pattern over the tire. If you do want to not compress your suspension at all, you're going to want to get a good set of wheel baskets. That is the easiest and most reliable way to tie down your wheels and tires to the trailer so that the machine's suspension can still work and you're going to have a solid attachment. Now, the pros and cons of each. When you don't compress the suspension, like I mentioned, it allows the suspension to still work. So the body of the vehicle can actually be bouncing around back here, but the wheels and the tires are tight against the trailer. Now, if you do end up compressing the suspension, I've heard some people say it's good and some say it's bad. Now, the good side is that you're actually putting a lot of back pressure up onto that strap, so that's going to give you a nice tight hold. Now, on the bad side, I've heard 2 things. First of all, that you can damage your suspension. I don't really believe that one unless you're crossing the country and you have this thing tied down for days on end, absolutely compressing that shock. For the most part, for a couple hours here and there, I really don't believe you're going to damage your machine. And then second of all, people say that because, you know, you are putting that pressure on the strap, when you hit bumps, the suspension still has some travel in it, so the machine might, you know, momentarily come loose onto the strap, causing the strap to fall off. And that can be solved by just making sure you're strapping down in a smart way and by making sure that strap is really tight. If the suspension is really compressed, there's really no more room for it to be jumping around. Now, according to the federal regulations that big rigs use, when you are using these kind of straps, you want to attach them at a less than 45-degree angle to the trailer. So, you know, I could come up to this bumper, but again, I do think compressing the suspension is okay, but you don't want to go to a tall point like this. It's better to go somewhere low. So try to find the lowest point you can, and on this mule, I can get directly onto the frame, right up here. So there's a cross member here, I can hook onto it, and that's going to be perfect. I can hook onto that same cross member on both sides. Now, another thing you want to watch out for are edges like this. If the strap is sitting on a sharp edge, it can kind of wear down like that and eventually rip or break. This edge is not sharp at all, so I know it's going to be just fine. If you do have an edge that's sharp, you can stick a piece of rubber or even like a thick cloth or something in there to just take away that sharp edge. You always need to be weary of that. So there's my strap on the front driver's side corner. Now I'll come over here and put one on my front passenger side corner. And like I said, these are going to be attached at equal but opposite points on the machine, so I know they're going to be putting the same amount of pressure on. And because they're low, I don't know if it's exactly less than a 45-degree angle, but because they're so low, the suspension should only be compressed a little bit, not a lot, because you want most of the pressure to be pulling out on the machine, not necessarily down. Straps are hooked up. Now, next step is you're going to want to make sure there's no twists in the straps. Twists can also reduce their strength. And then you just got to feed it through my ratchet here and ratchet it down. So stay with me. Now you'll see here, the front end is coming down, so I am compressing the suspension a little bit, but again, because I'm not on a too sharp of an angle, it's a very shallow angle, the more of the pressure is coming forward than down. Okay, so here's strap number 2, and again, you'll notice the front end of the mule is coming down a little bit. That's because there is putting some down pressure on here. But for the most part, this pressure is coming forward. And there you have it. Now let's go take a look at the back. Now when it comes to the rear end of most side-by-sides, again, there is this bumper, but it is quite tall, so I wouldn't use it. I always want to go to a low spot, and the good thing with most modern machines is there's almost always a hitch. And you know that the hitch has to be a strong piece to attach to the frame, so it's going to be strong enough to hold this vehicle. Now, usually the safety chain hookups are perfect, and in this case they are as well. So once again, they're going to be evenly spaced, and this is one of the lowest points on the machine. So I'm going to run out of these safety chain hookups right to the back corners to put equal and opposite pressure on it. Now this is also a good time to mention that you never want to tie down too close to the machine. It's always good to go to the further corners. You don't want it kind of pulling too laterally or to the side, so you want it sort of to the front and the back. That's going to be your best bet. Now some might say that using all 4 of these straps is overkill, and in fact even the federal regulations for tying down cargo on big rigs would suggest that using these 4 straps is overkill. But you can't be too safe or too careful when it comes to other people's safety and your investment. So I'd say always go for 4. If you do use 2 straps, just make sure they're put on evenly as possible, so the points where it's pulling on the machine are even on the front and on the back. So that's it, guys. Those are the absolute basics on tying down, but now I want to hear your stories on how you tie your machine down. I really believe that whether you compress the suspension or don't, whether you use straps or chains or wheel baskets, there are multiple safe ways to tie your machine down, and this one that I just showed you is just one of them. Now, I want to hear what you guys do at home, and if you've ever experienced any of those things I mentioned, you know, have you actually ever damaged suspension, or have you had a machine come off a trailer? I've never had a machine come off a trailer. That's pretty much my worst nightmare, especially with this stuff that I don't own. So far I must be doing something right, but I'm not here to tell you what the best way is. I want this video to sort of serve as a forum for everyone to weigh in so we can get the best answer on the multiple ways to safely tie down your ATV or side-by-side. So as always, guys, make sure you hit subscribe right now to TFL Off-Road and come back here for the latest news, views, and real-world reviews. See ya.